Well, first I want to thank everyone for being here. It's a wonderful, beautiful event, and I'm very happy to be here. Like CT said, I woke up in Alaska yesterday. And so bear with, I'm on a little bit of a different time change. I did make it to bed by 4 a.m. this morning. So Tommy Danger is one of the many names that I've been called. If you think about my name, I actually have 3 different ways to say it. My mother calls me Thomas when I'm in trouble. My friends back in Indiana where I grew up call me Tom, and pretty much everyone else calls me Tommy. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, a year ago today I was being called Tomas. One of my friends, I was standing in Pamplona, Spain, participating in the running of the bulls. And I remember 2 words, Tomas, and then run. I feel like run was spoken a lot more. Throughout my almost 31 years of life, I've been called many names. I grew up overweight, so I was called fat. I was called loser. I was told that I wouldn't amount to much. But then I've also been called many things as well. Like, hey, you're kind of cute. I've been called a hero. But there's been one word that really sticks out more than any other. And I'll tell you about that word after I tell you this little story that I like to call heaven and hell. Like CT said, I ran from Seattle, Washington to Daytona Beach, 3,200 miles over 6.5 months. During that 6.5 months, I came across a lot of different adventures and many different journeys, and I had to handle them different ways. And I remember I was almost 1,000 miles into my run, which is just about south of Salt Lake City. A newspaper just did a report on me. They were called the Daily Herald, and they did a story. And a grandma of a CFer contacted me via Facebook. She asked if I could meet her grandson, little Easton. And I said, absolutely. At this point, there was no media attention pretty much. So I was like, come on out. This is where I'm starting. I would love to meet you. Well, she showed up with herself, little Easton, the grandpa, the mom, the dad, the aunt, the brothers and sisters. It was a big reunion. On top of that, I had run through the 3 pair of shoes I could afford at the time. So literally my heel was sticking out of the bottom of one of my pair of shoes. And she brought me a brand new pair of shoes. She brought me running pants, running tops, gift cards to Subway and Walmart so I could eat, which is definitely important when you're running 20 miles a day. It was one of the greatest days I've ever had. It was like Christmas. And I ran the hardest I ran in a long time that day. One of my fastest days, I ran 18 miles that day, and I was cooking. I remember my support driver, Timothy, tweeting about it. I can't keep up with him. And it was because I was so excited. I met this amazing family. I touched someone's life. So I finished the 18 miles. I go home I go to a buddy's place. I fall asleep. I wake up the next morning. One of my biggest followers, Wesley, 24 years old. We've been chatting, never met him in person. We chat through Haytel, voice messages, text messages. He's fighting. He had a lung transplant, it rejected, got pneumonia. He was fighting for his life. Very next morning, he died. I didn't know how to handle the emotions. I never had to deal with a loss of a life of someone I didn't know yet I was so close to. My support driver had to actually write a story about it that morning because I couldn't function. All I knew is I had to run 18 miles. It was cold, it was windy, and I was lucky enough to pick the day where I had to climb 3,500 feet with the 18 miles up to Soldier Summit, just south, on one of the most dangerous highways in North America, Highway 6. I just remember I was climbing, and I was running, and I was crying. And it's kind of hard to run up a hill while you're crying and running in the cold, but I was doing it. And I remember the clouds opened up and You know when you're really cold and that sunshine comes through and warms you up? And I just remember I started bawling, and I could see my safety vehicle about a quarter mile up. And when I got up there, Timothy's sitting in this very warm van, and I'm like, we have to be there for the family. And he had no idea what I was talking about. He knew everything that was going on. But I said, we have to fly there. I don't have time. I had to run every day. So we need to figure out, I told him we need to figure out how to get there. I want to meet Wes before he's gone completely. As I continued running, that was about 13 miles in. I had about 5 miles left. As I continued running, Timothy hopped on his iPad with a little reception, bought 2 plane tickets from Salt Lake City to Charlotte, because Wesley was from the Charlotte area. We didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to take anything away from Wesley's family or him or his friends. I just wanted to show up and tell them that I'm here for you. I showed up with some of my followers and my friends, the More Than Just Miles people, about 10 of us. And we just said, hey, we're here to help. Now the first people, as I walk up to this funeral home, I could see how many people Wesley had affected. It went from the inside outside, wrapped around, and was going into the street. I saw the 2 people how I got to meet Wesley, his 2 best friends, Carlton and Josh. And now, some of you may know Carlton and Josh. Now Carlton, it's hard to miss him. He rocks a giant purple mohawk for CF, and he's about 6'5", 350 pounds. So when I say I got a bear hug, it was a legit bear hug. We were crying. He walked me to his mother, to Wesley's mother. She was standing next to the open casket, and there lay Wesley. Never met him, but I knew him. I knew his struggles, his pain, his fight, via messaging. I know that sounds strange, but we had a weird connection. And I just remember embracing his mother, Amy, and as we were embraced, she said, thank you for bringing hope to the CF world. Hope. 4 letters. Confused me. I know that sounds strange, but I was just the dude running across the country. That's how I looked at it. I'm just that guy running. But she said, thank you for bringing hope. So it blew me away. I started thinking about it more, and this is what I came up with. I turned hope into 4 letters. Help other people every day. Now when I say that, you might be looking at me as like, how do we help other people every single day? That doesn't mean you have to run across the United States. But if you smiled at someone that was having a bad day, that could change their day, their week, their year, their life. You never know. Be positive and enjoy that. Help other people every day. Hope is all around us. How can you help? Look where you're sitting right now. You have the perfect opportunity to bring hope to not just 70,000 worldwide, but millions. When little IV, I got to meet him today, CT and Holly's little boy, adorable. When I get to meet him, CT is affected with cystic fibrosis, but so is, IV is affected, but so is CT and Holly, and his friends, and the family. That's millions of people, and you're sitting here in the perfect opportunity to help. I don't care if it's $1 or $10 million. I have no right to say what you want to donate. All I'm saying is that you can create help and hope for millions of people around this world. People, you just heard it. We're close. We're right around that corner. When I look at IV, I don't look at, is it going to be 38, 39? I look at a cure. I see hope. So what I'm going to leave you with is, as you're sitting here enjoying this amazing food, these beautiful people surrounding you, how can you bring hope to not just yourself, but to the millions of people around the world affected by this deadly genetic disease that you can help tonight? So I ask you, help me bring hope to the world. And that's it.